Well, the launch of the major military operation against Ukraine has caused uncertainty in financial markets and left many investors on edge. Just a short while ago, oil prices were surging. They're up above $100 a barrel. That's the highest that we've seen since 2014. Russia is currently the second biggest exporter of crude oil after Saudi Arabia and is also the world's largest natural gas exporter. Let's bring in Cornelia Meyer, who is the CEO of MRL Corporation. Cornelia, perhaps unsurprising that we're seeing a big spike in the price of oil, and who gets to benefit from the price of oil rising?
Well, the benefit from the price of oil goes to the oil producers. But we have an incredibly tight market. You know, the last 2 months, OPEC plus the OPEC cartel and their associates, where Russia is a member, a very big member, were not able to produce just as much as they said they were producing. And Russia was one of them. So we have an incredibly tight market. And the question is, where does that next barrel come from? It now looks more difficult, as there will be sanctions against Russia, as to where that will come from. And, you know, we probably have Iran, if the negotiations go well, in Vienna, which could bring in another 1.2 million barrels. But, you know, the negotiations in Vienna, that's the P5, the permanent members of the Security Council, and Germany. And guess what? Russia is a permanent member. So there is issues there too. So the question is really, in the short term, where are those incremental barrels come from? And how will OPEC plus deal with Russia now that we have a full-blown war?
Well, Germany has certainly emerged as Vladimir Putin's toughest opponent by shutting down Nord Stream 2. We mentioned that it's a major gas exporter, the Russian country. Olaf Scholz was the first to take decisive action by cancelling this pipeline. But it seems that Russia has shrugged this off.
Well, yes, and he didn't quite cancel it. He pushed out certification, so he hasn't quite cancelled it. Yes, he has shrugged it off because in the end, his bet is that between 40 and 50% of European gas supplies come from Russia via the Druzhba and the Nord and the South Stream pipelines. So he basically says, well, it's a hard winter. Do Europeans want to freeze? Because you will not get the new gas in quickly. The LNG contracts are in 25 years. It's hard to get more LNG quickly, and there are not enough regasification terminals. So really, he probably says, okay, this is who blinks first thing of how will the Europeans react when they can't afford their heating bills and when they have to freeze.
Cornelia Meyer, thank you very much for your time and your analysis there.